All right, y'all, the NAACP issued a travel advisory for the state of ghetto-ass Florida in response to what the organization called aggressive attempts to erase Black history and to restrict diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in Florida schools by trash Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. I call him Ron DeSatan. The advisory states Florida is openly hostile towards African Americans, people of color, and LGBTQ plus individuals. Now, before traveling to Florida, please understand that the state of Florida devalues and marginalize the contributions of and the challenges faced by African Americans and other communities of color. Selena, let's go to you first. What do you think about this? A whole state has a travel advisory like it's a third world country in America.
You know, I mean, I understand what this travel advisory is about, and it's a way of trying to stand up against the tyranny of Ron DeSantis. However, we might as well put that travel advisory on pretty much all 51 states, because actually, let's not act like racism is not popping everywhere. Okay, it's a fool everywhere. In Texas, you might as well have an advisory of of shooting up the schools. You might as well have an advisory in New York, they shooting up the grocery stores. You might as well have an advisory in Atlanta, they shooting up downtown. So you might as well just have an advisory in Chicago because they just keep shooting all the time. So, and not just the shooting, but the racism in Georgia. People can't even go jogging down here in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? What was it? Minneapolis, Minnesota, Breonna Taylor. You can't even be in your house. You know, so at the end of the day, that advisory needs to be everywhere. And I understand, you know, that Florida is real buck wild with it, with the gun situation, allowing a right to carry, just being everybody can just carry arms and they don't care. Also, the school systems with actually rejecting African American history in the school system, but allowing Asian history, which is quite fascinating.
Not only allowing, passing a law, making it mandatory.
Correct. So it is a fool indeed in Florida, but I think it is a fool indeed in America. When Claudia says that Florida's ghetto, I think America's ghetto.
America's extremely ghetto. That's why you know where I'm moving to as soon as I can, Aruba.
Okay, so we got to go. I'm going down to the Africa because you know what, Ghana is popping.
Ghana is popping. I love their food there too. Vivica, what do you think about ghetto ass Florida? I like everything outside of Miami, but ghetto ass Florida.
Well, you know, it's just Ron DeSantis coming up with his own rules. It's just insane to me. It's like on a daily basis. But I think what he's trying to do more than anything else is that he's throwing everything up against the board that, can make him to be competitive with Trump, because he did announce last week that he was, or was it this week? Well,
he's supposed to this
so
week.
much, but recently he posted that he now wants to run for president of the United States. So I think that he's just doing everything that he can to be competitive with Trump. I really do.
So Ron DeSantis,
as outrageous as the things he comes up with,
he's trying to go to the right of Trump to be more Trumpy than Trump. And what he's actually doing is making Trump seem a little bit more normal, because some of what he's doing is like the 6-week abortion ban. And even Trump said, you're going to lose a lot of female votes with that. And I'm like, wow, Ron DeSantis, you are making yourself less electable by being to the right. Get off Trump's dick. All y'all think that they worry about your race. Worry about your, and when I mean race, I mean as white supremacist race. I mean, worry about your race that you're trying to win.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, he is so, I cannot stand, he's a dictator. He's a dictator.
I think too that, to piggyback off of what you're saying, Claudia, I think, you're right. All of those votes, what was it, 72 million that voted for Trump? The last election, I think it was like 75 million against Biden's 80 million. And I think that he's harping on the fact that there are a lot of unhappy voters with Biden. So he thinks he's going to get those just simply on GP. But then he's also trying to be very, very, very right wing, like you're saying, to get all the Trump supporters. But Trump even said you was the fool. So, and I just think he looks like the Antichrist. I think that if we put him in office, it's going to be the biggest mistake since Trump.
Ever. So,
it looks like the Antichrist. It looks nuts.
It's just nuts that Florida has voted for this man twice. I mean, I know Florida, all the weird news I always find, it's always out of Florida and Texas, but Florida is just out Floriding Florida at this point. It's sad.